I pay tribute to our European friends for recognising the need for change, particularly President von der Leyen. My predecessors for laying the groundwork for today's agreement. And
he's trolling. That was funny. What an idiot. No, it wasn't one of them statements that he just says. No, there was 3 interesting points I took from yesterday's, well, one from Rishi Sunak's statement, which I found very, very interesting, where when it comes to the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill, you know, that one, you know, where they said they were going to break the law in a limited and specific way, and I found very interesting what he had to say about this.
Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by directly addressing the question of the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill. As I and my predecessors always said, the bill was only ever meant to be a last resort, meant for a world where we could not get negotiations going. As the government said at the time of introduction, our clear preference remains a negotiated solution. Now that we've persuaded the EU to fundamentally rewrite the treaty text of the protocol, we have a new and better option. The Windsor Framework delivers a decisively better outcome than the bill, achieving what people said could not be done and what the bill does not offer. It permanently removes any sense of a border in the Irish Sea. It gives us control over dynamic alignment through the Stormont break beyond what the bill promised, and the bill did not change a thing in international law, keeping the jurisdiction of the ECJ and leaving us open to months, maybe years of uncertainty, disruption and legal challenge. Today's agreement makes binding legal changes to the treaty itself and is explicitly based in international law. And unlike the bill, it is an agreement that provides certainty, stability and, crucially, can start delivering benefits almost immediately for the people and businesses of Northern Ireland. Of course, the House would expect to be informed of the government's updated legal position on whether there is a lawful basis to proceed with the bill, so I'm publishing it today. It says that because we have achieved a new negotiated agreement which preserves the balance of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement, the original and sound justification legally for the bill has now fallen away. In other words, neither do we need the bill, and nor do we have a credible basis to pursue it. As such,
very interesting, isn't it? I found that very, very interesting. I don't know what were all the whole point of doing it in the first place. Now, there were one or two of the Conservatives said, "Oh well, would you agree with me that bringing this Northern Ireland Protocol into legislation forced the hand of the European Union?" And for me personally, I don't think they really give a monkeys, because they just knew you weren't going to use it. That's what it looked like to me. But there was 2 very interesting questions that I heard after. One was from Alison McGowan, I think that's her name, Labour MP, and SNP MP Joanna Cherry. And what I found very interesting, because they're both centred around the European Courts of Human Rights, and the answers give were very, very interesting.
Whatever the disagreements that all of us have, it's good to hear the Prime Minister today pay respect to the principles and the detail of the Good Friday Agreement. So can I ask him about our membership of the ECHR, which plays such a central role to that agreement, and can he confirm that under his government we will not be leaving the ECHR?
Prime Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the UK is and will remain a member of the ECHR. Today's agreement is about Belfast Good Friday Agreement. She was right to highlight it, and restoring the balance in that agreement, and I'm pleased that the Windsor Framework restores that balance, and I thank her for her support.
The Prime Minister is to be commended for tackling one aspect of the mess left behind by his predecessor but one. But of course we should not forget that the Prime Minister himself and most of his colleagues voted for that mess. Madam Deputy Speaker, it's very important to be clear about the role of the European Court of Justice in this framework. The EU President, Ursula von der Leyen, has said this afternoon that the European Court of Justice will still have the final say on EU law and single market issues. That's correct, isn't it?
Prime Minister.
Yes, as a simple matter of fact, it is the European Court of Justice which is the final arbiter on matters of EU law. That's what the President said. She's right. That is simply the legal fact of the case.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I found them answers very interesting. And we had a number of other Conservative MPs, like Bill Cash and Sir Edward Lee, still and he said something really interesting. He said he was going to watch very closely what the Doolally Unionist Party are going to do. I call them Doolally Unionist Party because I don't understand what they want. They just seem we were never satisfied. They just want to break stuff. That were the three things I took. I think clearly the hard Brexit seems to be dead now, doesn't it? I don't know what the game of the ERG will be. Now, I've heard some people say, oh, people are just treating them like clowns now, and they seem very quiet, don't they? I'm just wondering whether they recognise that either they're a busted flush or are they waiting for what happens after the May elections. And I think that maybe that could be their moment when they start making noises. And yeah, so it looks like the protocol is dead. But them two questions I found very, very interesting, and the answers very, very interesting. What do you guys think? Let me know down below, and until the next time, I shall bid you farewell and take care.